Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us. For this new figure unboxing and review, we're going to be looking at the Studio Series Bumblebee Movie Deluxe Arcee figure. So what we're going to do this video, we're going to unbox her live in a second, have a look at the entire contents of the packaging. Then going to have a detailed look at her in both of her modes to help us decide how we're going to display her. Because she's an Arcee movie figure, we can do some comparisons with her and some other Arcee movie based figures that have been released of her, and we can also see, because she's based on Generation 1, how she compares with some of the Generations Arcee figures that have been released of her as well. Right, as you can see, loads to get through, and before we get started, I'd like to remind you that if you're not subscribed to this channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. And let's have a look at the packaging then before we cut her open. So we've got, of course, the brilliant screen representation of what she looked like in the Bumblebee movie. We can see that her reference number is number 85. We've got a zoomed in bit, I suppose, of the head and bust of her there. We can see that this is going to be rather complicated, I think, with 23 steps between each mode, and then once again we've got the same image there. Now, as I'm going to start opening the packaging, at this point I need to thank Robot Recruits, because that is the online shop in the UK that I purchased this from, and as you can see, they got it out to me nice and safely and completely undamaged. It is, of course, a windowless box, and ironically enough, there's a plastic tag holding her in place. That always makes me laugh, because they're trying to reduce plastic and then they put a plastic base. Plastic covers, tie wraps all the way around. So we've got the Cybertron Falls Part 2 backdrop there, which means that we're going to get exactly the same on the base there as well. And there's the instructions, and to be honest, there's nothing much more to say about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set her free from there. We're going to come back and do some first impressions. Okay, so as you can see, I've set her free from her packaging, and I'm pretty sure, and it's pretty obvious, that this isn't how she's supposed to look in robot mode, but this is just how I've set her free. So let's move some of these back. Again, we'll have a proper look at her in robot mode once we've done these first impressions. I'm just seeing if that looks, it does, that looks like that's just come off. Maybe I need to re-click. Yeah, that's just a simple case of pushing that back in. The head sculpt looks really good. There's lovely bits of detail there in her eyes, little bits of reflectives going on there. There's full articulation up, down, around. You can see it's on a ball and socket, so there's loads of articulation there. Same as in the shoulders. Yep, full rotation, spinning around, biceps, twisting, bending. Wrists doesn't have anything. It's got movement, but I think that's more for transformation purposes. We've got a waist swivel. Hips are on ball and sockets, as well as rotating on the outside. That is super articulation. Knee bend, ankle tilt and rock, absolutely everything that you would expect with a brand new figure. Lovely translucent blue plastic there. These are all loose. Again, it's not fully transformed properly, I don't think. We can have a much more detailed look at that in a second. And they've got the wheels, which we know are going to be on the front or back of the motor. I think the front of the motorcycle, but first impressions of this, she looks absolutely stunning, super detailed, super articulate. And what we need to do now then is have, this one's come off as well by the looks of it. Looks like it slots in. We need to have a proper look at her in her alternate mode first and foremost. So let's do that. Okay, we're back, and as you can see, she's in her alternate mode and looking very, very good in honesty. Now, quick apologies for no transformation process on this video. Couple of reasons. One, to keep the length of this video down, and two, is not to spoil it for people, with it being a new figure, who want to experience that first transformation process for themselves the first time. Anyway, if you do want to see it, it will be uploaded separately in a different video, so you can watch it if you want. But what I like about this is, again, just how clever it is. It all sort of fits together really well. There's loads of tabs where everything's held in. These, of course, were the wheels that were at the back of her heels to start off with. Yes, we can see that her arms are there. However, what we are supposed to do is take these little guns, like so. They're both the same, and we're supposed to put these in, of course, what we can see are her fists. And that again just changes the appearance of the bike, making it look much better. I like the way they've kept the idea of having it as a motorbike, as an alternate mode, or a Cybertron vehicle, obviously with it being on Cybertron. It's very in keeping in some ways with the original idea of her movie character. So there's the movie version of her there, which is of course a motorbike, and this, I suppose, is just a Cybertron version of that. And also, again, it's in a league of its own because it's a bit like a G1 crossed with a movie figure, so there's not much to compare it with. The wheels do go round, obviously, on the one half, though, because the rest of it is clipped together. There's the translucent blue on the back. The pink is really good. This part especially is really reflective, looking great. There's some smaller wheels underneath there. Everything is tucked away quite nicely, to be honest. And yeah, I suppose, again, she just looks really good. How does she look with her display? Not too bad, but I'm sure you'll agree they always look far, far better in the robot mode on these display stands. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to come back now for the final time with her in a robot mode, see her with her weapons, do some poses, and of course do some comparisons and see how she displays with some more of the same toy line. Okay then, back for the final time with her in a robot mode, and again, I'm sure you'd agree, she does look very, very good. I suppose the first thing that you do notice is just that these little bits, they're not too detrimental. There's not too much of a huge amount of back kibble, which is what most Arcee figures, which are based, I suppose, in the Generation 1 toy line, are very, very guilty of. And in fact, that can clip down even more. There we go. So there's not much there at all. She really does get away with it, and she does display fantastically. If we take the guns, these are identical, so these are what we just saw that we put in her hands in the alternate mode. All we're going to do then is again just pop them in her hands, and again, as I said in the first part, she is super posable, especially in the arm. You've got the rotation at the shoulder, the actual movement there, the movement in the bicep, just really good. To be fair, you can point her wherever you want it to go. When you put them on the backdrops, they look okay. I suppose I understand why they're doing it if you ever just want the one particular figure, but the backdrops, although they're good and they're nice and robust and sturdy, they don't really do it for me, shall we say. The other good thing is, though, that with these, you can actually, let's get rid of the reflection. You can take the weapons and you can store them on her person without being in her hand. So these at the back, you've got a tab there, and we've got a cutout on the side of the gun, and hopefully this should clip straight in. Obviously it is a brand new toy, so it might, oh no, it went in, not too bad. Sometimes they take a little bit of extra effort to get in, but as you can see, that is just same as that one. And I love the idea of this as well. I think a lot of new figures, they're doing this, where you can store the extra, where you can store their weapons on them without them being in our hands, and it's not too detrimental. They're just resting there at the back. And it just again means that you've got less chance of losing all the accessories. Now, this was one of the last movie sort of versions of her. This is Dark of the Moon. And again, it's completely different. The whole thing, the whole design, the whole movie idea, the whole movie verse of it is completely different. Because although this is a movie, it is based more on like a G1 version of it. This is the Thrilling 30 version, which again is quite good. But you can see they're just totally different. And this is again exactly what I'm about to say about the back kibble. Same with the new Siege, the new Earthrise and Kingdom versions. There's just an abundance of back kibble on it, whereas with this, she gets away with it. Now, I suppose the most important thing, and the thing that you really want to see, is how she displays with other figures in the same toy line. So there is Wheeljacks. Of course, these are all deluxe figures, and as you can see, she is scaling really well with these. Ratchet, as we know, is quite a big figure. With regards to Voyager class, she's of course going to be, and rightly so, quite a bit smaller there than Starscream, so she doesn't look too bad. And then of course, if we get Bumblebee himself, where can I put Bumblebee, and just pop him down there, you've got an idea of how well that they do all in fact look together, to be honest. With regards to core class, even though it doesn't really make much difference, in fact, let's go core class Ravage rather, just to see how big she is compared to him. Again, brilliant toy line. I think we've got Ironhide to come very soon as well, and of course Thundercracker for the Voyager class figures, but not really sure if there's much more left from this particular movie that they can do. So she's definitely one of the best versions of Arcee that I've seen and had a chance to have a play with. So let me know what you think. Have you already got it? Are you going to be getting it? And how do you think she looks in regards to the rest of this toy line? Let me know in the comments, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching. Like and comment, and don't forget to subscribe.